Hello and welcome to Esther's Gardening Adventures. I'm Esther and today I'm going to show you how I organize my seeds. Now if you're like me, you have more seeds than you could possibly grow in a year, but I think I found a way that works really well for me and is actually quite affordable compared to some of the options that I've seen other people do. And this has taken me a couple iterations, but I think I've got it nailed down to something that saves, is reasonable on size, can fit the different type envelopes and size envelopes and width of envelopes like bulk seeds as well, easily, and that is quite affordable. Now before I get any further, let me mention that in every seed packet you buy here in the United States, I'm not sure what the rules are elsewhere, they will include on somewhere on the packet a thing that either says packed for or sell by a certain year. This does not mean this is the year that you have to use the seeds by. This is literally just so you can track what year the manufacturer packed these seeds to sell, what year they were planning to sell them in. Many seeds last multiple years. In fact, most seeds, I think you're pretty safe assuming 5 years or more. There are some exceptions to that, which are like onions, the allium group. They tend to only last 1 year. All right, let's start off with what materials you need. I like to use these containers. I got these fairly recently at the dollar store and they're only $1.25 each. Dollar store is now $1.25. And these are called storage box and it says A lid on it if that helps you, size A lid if that helps you identify them. They have them in a couple different shades. I think they have them in pink, black, and like an off green or teal kind of color, which is the one I use for most of mine. So $1.25 each. It's a pretty reasonable price. And yes, you can't set the seeds upright in them, right? They're not, but that's not why I got them. They're too shallow for setting the seeds upright, but that is not how I store my seeds actually. I store my seeds on their side and in envelopes. Let's find one. Like these. So I got these at like a CVS or Walgreens, but I looked up online and they're about $3.49 for a pack of 72. These are, you don't have to get security, but these are just plain regular size envelopes, not the big long, the big businessy ones. And you'll just, I fold them like this and I put my seeds in here. Now I label each of them and I'll show you that in a second, but voila! And look how nicely that fits. Now there are some seed packets that are a little bit wider, but still I find I haven't had any problem with any of the seeds being too wide to fit in here so far, width-wise. How do I keep the seeds from spilling, you say? I'll show you that in a second. And that comes down to my actual second thing to have. So you're gonna need a container. I like to use these envelopes. And then I use these baggies. These are 2 by, let me look at my list here. They're 2 by 3 inch packets, and the thing I really like about them is they have this white block here so you can write with a permanent marker and it'll show up real easy without having to add a label to it what the seeds are inside. But I also use these in addition to storing seeds I save. I also use these, let's say, when I open up a packet, because how many times have you had, if you're a long-time gardener, how many times have you opened a box that contains your seed and you find seeds floating in the bottom? It's almost inevitable, but there is a way to reduce that, which is to use these kinds of things. So whenever I open a seed packet, I automatically pour the seeds from that into one of these baggies and then I put it back in. And this way, you don't have to worry about it falling out or losing those seeds. There's also another advantage to this, which is that you can, without having to look in and figure out how many are left, you can pull it out and see that there's a certain amount left. It gives you a sense of what's left and how much more you need to buy. And the baggies are reusable. I definitely reuse them all the time. You're also going to need some way to label your containers. You can use like the labels you can buy at the store that are like sticky labels, or I have this label maker that I got a couple years ago that will print out labels. I didn't really count that towards the total cost here because I've had these forever. I organize my seeds by 4 categories, really 5 categories if you count it, but I have them in 4 boxes. So when I'm making, all of my boxes have a label on the lid and all 4 sides. And this is so no matter how I set the box, I can see what's in it. I can glance at it and be like, oh, that's what I need. I have a box for flowers. This is both ones that can handle frost and ones that can't. I have a box for herbs and natives, and you can see I kind of divide them using a little cardboard thing here, but it doesn't really matter. So these are plants that are native to my area in Maryland. And then I divide my vegetables into two categories. Cool weather veggies are things that I grow in both the spring and fall, and they're things like kale and broccoli and onions and lettuce. These are things that can handle a frost and perform better in cooler weather, hence cool weather veggies. And then summer veggies like tomatoes, squash, cucumber, peppers. They are things that do not handle a frost well and like to grow in warm weather in particular. So I just like to divide it up that way. It makes it easier when I'm sorting through what I'm going to do for my spring garden versus my summer garden. But you can organize it however you want, whatever makes sense the best to you. Now for every box, I organize them alphabetically. And what I mean by that is I have, for example, amaranth to zinnias. So this is the amaranth in here. I have, you can see on its side, I have golden giant amaranth. I have red garnet amaranth, which I grew this last year. I have burgundy amaranth. And I have Love Lies Bleeding Coral Fountain Amaranth, and I had a friend just send me some red Love Lies bleeding seeds also that I need to put in here. And then let's say that you have more than can fit in one envelope. Well, that's easily solved. You do 2 envelopes. So here's zinnias part 1 and zinnias part 2. This one has ones that I've saved from seed, right? Like pink layered volunteers. This is the one that had, I'll put a photo of it up on the screen, but it had this beautiful light pink inside to a darker pink outside, and I decided to save the seeds, and I'm going to try them again this next year to see how they do. And then let's say you have something that doesn't fit in there. Let's say somebody gave you something in a weird shaped thing. Well, these boxes are great for it too. Someone gave me some German chamomile in a little plastic container, and some Love Lies Bleeding regular red stuff. I put that in here. So this box is really versatile, and unlike some others that people use like photo organizers, it fits just about every envelope size. It allows you to have as many of one variety as you want. Like zinnias, you're going to have a lot of zinnias, or marigolds, you're going to have a lot of marigolds. I didn't even have to know where in the box it was. I just saw how full it was. So, oh, no, I have to put it back. Marigolds goes before money plant. There we go. So the total cost for all of this that I just kind of did back of the envelope kind of calculation on. So it was $5 for 4 containers that I used for my seeds, these 4 containers. That was $5. The envelopes cost $3.49, and I used probably 2 boxes, but we'll assume 1 box for this price, right? And the other thing is these seeds, I bought a box of 1,000 about in 2021. You can see, even when this in here, I haven't even, it'll be about another year and a half till I use all these up. And that was about $19, but I'm assuming about 2 of these bags, which I think are about 100 each, maybe 150 each. 2 of these bags do for all my seeds. So I assume about $4, $4.75 for 2 bags. That adds up to between $13 and $14 for all of your setup, not counting whatever you do for label making, right? If you count $13 for this, that's actually a really good price. You know, when I looked up photo album organizers, 1 box of a photo album organizer when it's on sale is like $13 or $14, and when it's full price in my area, it's like $24. I can do all this for half that price, or all of it for the price of one of those. With this, look how little space this takes up. Really. I think I have about 350 varieties in here. About 350 different variety options, and I fit them in these 4 boxes. Thank God seeds don't take up a lot of space. I hope you found this video useful. I really do enjoy collecting seeds. I enjoy doing seed swaps and sharing seeds with others. I enjoy saving seeds from my garden to give to others and to have for future years. And I think seeds are a really great way to sort of invest in the future, especially since they can last multiple years. At least that's what I tell my husband every time a new shipment comes in. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.